Hi there, my name is Dr. Stace Constantinou. This is a short podcast presentation for anyone thinking about doing a practice-based PhD in music at the University of Northampton. Currently, if you'd like to do a PhD in music at the University of Northampton, then I would be your supervisor. So my first recommendation would be for you to have a look at my research. Have you seen the research that I do? Does the type of research that I've done interest you? And is this the sort of thing that you yourself would like to do? I've included a link to my Pure page, which is a page that the University of Northampton uses to document academic members of staff research. So please have a look at that. The link is in the slides here, but you can also find a link in the text below, which will take you straight to it. Another important question to ask yourself is, do I have the funding for study, either full-time or part-time? So if you don't have the funding, please consider this before applying, as it may be a stumbling block later down the road should you apply. A typical PhD at the University of Northampton might be part-time, over 5 to 6 years, and self-funded. So practice or theory. Practice-based PhD, for example, will have a practical component. So let's explain give an example in music of what this might look like. My PhD, Processes of Creative Patterning, a compositional approach, consists of 3 main bodies of work, a 90-minute portfolio of 7 compositions. The portfolio of 7 compositions are all presented as audio recordings as well as scores. And there's 40,000 word written critical commentary focused on the development and deployment of processes of creative patterning within the 7 portfolio compositions. However, if you wanted to consider a theory-based project only, i.e. an 80,000 word written thesis, no practical body of work, this could work with me, providing it's in sort of the musical analysis and or mathematical patterning area of music, and then this might be possible. So practice-based in this context means musical creativity. This would be developed over a period of time, over the period of your PhD. These would be original compositions, songs, film music, music for media, it can mixed genre, it could be radiophonic work, say electronic, acoustic, or a combination of both, and it could be scores and or DAW materials. But you would be producing a body of work that can be listened to by anyone. Methodology. So a place to start if you're unsure about methodology and it all seems a bit confusing and complicated, then I say methodology is not complicated or confusing, and it shouldn't be. And I can use a simple, let's call it micro level methodology. This methodology in a way is an empirical, a non-scientific though, empirical way of thinking about doing practice-based research. And I've got this particular presentation of it from Simon Baron Cohen. Let's generalize the methodology to if X and Y, then Z. In other words, input, operation, output, feedback. So you could ask the question, to what extent do novel patterns make compositions sound novel? You would research and analyse the nature of novel patterns, question if X, and Y, apply these patterns to the compositional process of creating music. Then Z, you would critically reflect on the extent to which the compositions sounds novel. It would be iterative, and you would find that some things work, probably, some things don't work, and you have to adjust your way of working as you go. So 6 stages of a practice-based PhD. These are just 6 stages that I think will help a PhD student think about their workflow over a period of time. So you would articulate your concept, including the body of work and research direction. You would carry out a literature and textual review. The textual review would include a discography, say, or the review and analysis of the practitioner's work that is already out there. You would then define research questions and the resulting body of work. You would have early experiments. You would test your X and Y ideas in practice and reflect. You would draft and plan a critical evaluation, and you would successfully complete transfer. You get through transfer. You would implement your research into the full body of work. You would draft chapters for each component of the body of work or practice, and then you would assemble all of your practical work and components into your body of work, written reflection, and this would be your thesis for submission. My recommendation now is that you write down your title, aims and objectives, and then you go to the British Library BL to check whether or not your idea has already been done by someone. The BL, British Library, has what they call the UK Doctoral Thesis Metadata from Ethos, which is a database of not all, but many of the PhDs which have been submitted. And therefore, if you find that your PhD title that you've just come up with has already been done, then you will need to reflect and change your title, possibly find a different angle, or reassuringly, you may find that your research is very novel and new, and it will give you a clear indication of whether or not your idea is viable as a research project. Go to the British Library website and find the area where it says UK Doctoral Thesis Metadata. So thank you very much for listening to this short podcast. If you're still interested in applying, please feel free to get in touch with me to discuss your ideas informally before you apply. You can see my email on the screen, and please do have a look at the University of Northampton's webpage for applying. The link in the description below. Thank you very much, and I look forward to hearing from you.